Hello everyone, welcome to the Atelier Nikuzuki podcast. My name is podcast live stream, whatever the hell this is anymore. I'm Katie. Hi. Today is March 31st, 2026, and I am out of practice. So we're just, this is already like something that goes with the flow as we go sort of shit. Even more so today. I'm going to show you these in a minute once I actually like post the link. I'm going to make sure that everything's like broadcasting here. Blah, 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 blah. View your channel. Excellent. We're live and I am muted so I can't hear myself. Excellent. Okay. Let's get this posted on the gram, and then we will get into it. Excuse me. Okay, better? I can't tell. Better? Better. Okay, my youngest was 6 last week, and now I have been gifted the glory that is whatever the viral infection was last week. So, yay. I guess this photo? Yeah, let's take a photo of this. I don't know. It's not very appealing, but hey, we're working. We're starting to work. Today's mostly going to be figuring out, I actually bought myself a laminator because I keep misplacing these pieces. And at least if I misplace them again, it's so much faster to just laminate them. Now we have to cut them out, but like, whatever. Okay. It is deceptively disgusting outside. It is super sunny, but it is also very cold, or at least it was. Oh, we actually did get up to -2. Okay, cool. I'm just posting the link to Instagram, and then I'll get my button gear. We have Shindig. Shindig is the first show that we have in April. We have 3 shows currently booked for April. That's all we're going to book for April, but the next one is April 11th, Shindig. And yeah, that is on the 11th. And then we have Hanami at Ancient Arts Yarns on April 18th, and then Peace Fibre Festival on April 26th. And then this is new news because this wouldn't have been announced when I left for Japan, but I did get accepted into Otofest again, which is Calgary's anime festival, and that is May long weekend, so I will be back at Otofest. I just confirmed another show for May 31st as well. I literally just today just barely confirmed it, to be honest, so we'll be working on getting some details on that. I'm waiting on a few acceptances. Waiting to hear back actually from Vibrations to find out if I'm going to assume I'm in the show, but better not to sometimes. So yeah, we're just waiting on that one. We have a very busy year ahead of us. I just got accepted into the largest show I've ever done. Well, that's a lie. I did do Stampede, but I feel like this is going to be probably the more lucrative option for me. Stampede was okay, but it wasn't insane. I think I would do better now in the Maker Corner, but also at the same time, I like just attending Stampede. So that's where we're going to keep it for now, I think. Okay, so these, I mentioned this before, but like at the beginning here, if you weren't here, but I just got myself a laminator. Basically, I laminated the fabric cutting instructions for each of the Hammerstitch designs bags that we're doing, and then I did this with tape earlier, but I keep misplacing them, and so I cut the laminator because I'm like, well, at least if I misplace them, I can also replace them a lot faster, because this is a lot goddamn easier than taping every single piece. As long as I don't trim them off too much, we're good. Because what we're going to do is we're going to take all the pieces that I currently have cut out, and we're going to work through getting them, like, figure out what the fuck I'm doing with them, to be honest. So all right, and right here we do have a couple omamori that I have from Japan. I randomly got recommended through Instagram a little cat shrine. So I got little charms. This one is Good Fortune, which I figured, hey, that's always a good one. I'm gonna actually put it on the camera right there. I did actually get myself a second omamori from Fushimi Inari, which is the business success shrine in Kyoto as well. This one's really cool. So this one's actually a like stained glass clear one, and it is Serenity. So the shrine is in Tokyo. It's Komagome. They're actually famous for, that's where the, oh, sorry. So this one is for Serenity. I figured Good Fortune and Serenity are always in need in the studio here. The Serenity one, I'm actually going to go pop up on my, over here maybe with the fabrics. Actually, yeah, I'm going to put it on my actual, like, pegboard right beside the fabrics, because that feels like an appropriate spot for it. Serenity while cutting. Let's go for it. Does that mean that I'm going to be serene? Probably not. Is there a higher chance with it here? Maybe. Anyway, it will at least look really good against the white background of the pegboard. There we go. Hell yeah. Okay. So there. Anyway, the idea, or why the shrine is there, is because one of the warlords was led to victory by a little black cat at a certain point in history. And so now this whole shrine is like a bunch of cat stuff, and including all the little, like, omamori. Oh, okay, and then it's actually translated into English on the back. I did not see that before. My powers of observation are lacking right now. Oh, it's so fucking adorable. Okay, so the Seihitsu Mamori, which is the one that I just showed you, the Talisman of Stillness, is an amulet that prays for you to live in serenity. Guided by the black cat, may peaceful days come to you, and may your life be as tranquil as a quiet night, embraced by the soft glow of the stars. Oh, so that's what the whole design is and everything. It's super cute. And so, like, the little card. So I knew it had the, that must be what it's saying in the front here in Japanese. Obviously, it's a lot of kanji. I can't read that complicated kanji. And then this is the English on the back with a little black cat. Adorable. I can't read it, but I do know that that at least is the kanji here. Right here is the kanji for the shrine itself. Mostly because I can read the jinja, which is shrine at the bottom. Now, in less exciting work, we are going to do the pairing up of the fabrics here. One of the big things we do also need is we need zipper tabs, which I just realized as I was, like, sitting down, because I was like, hey, what's this? And it's like, it's the one zipper tab. I think the majority of these cuts right here are actually the other zipper tabs, potentially. Yeah, that actually looks correct, to be honest. And then, oh yeah, and then there's the reinforcements for the other stuff. Okay, because these all look about the same size, and I think probably the correct quantity, or close enough. And if they're not the right size, then we can always trim it down, it looks like. Okay, I'm going to do best guess that these are the tabs that we need. La 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 la. Okay, so G and G, that's the side panels. Interior slip pocket, I'm pretty sure I need 2 of those. I totally fucked up the cut on that. Oh well. H, Okay, there's the zipper tab one. Okay, exterior zipper pocket lining, exterior back, main lining pocket, interior zipper pocket, main lining panel. Okay, so there's 2 J's. Okay, we don't need the strap information because we're not using the strap. Side connectors are leather, which is a different cut sequence. Lower zipper panel, upper zipper panel, interior zipper pocket. Now what I've done is the same thing as when I taped them, is I went in and I labeled what fabric all of these are going to be from. So some of them are from Japanese, some of them are from plain, and some of them are from wax canvas. The exteriors of these are the Cambridge, which are the smaller wedge bags that we're doing. The exterior of the Cambridge is going to be wax canvas, so that's pretty straightforward. But it's all these interior pieces, and I'm like, what are we doing? Okay, so like all of these are going to be, okay, so these pieces are all going to be the interior zipper pocket pieces. And then these are probably, yes, these are slip pocket pieces because there's the front and the back of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, so much bigger. 5. Now these, and they needed to be pieced anyway, so they're set up in such a way that they will be, it'll be fine. La 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 la. Okay, that is correct. Okay, that's fine. Some of them apparently are a little bit larger, and that's okay. I prefer too big to too small. 6, 7, 8. So these were all cut before I left for Japan. Obviously ran out of time to make them, but we have so many shows coming up in April that we're just going to roll into what we already have cut. It does sound like Dallas will be doing the, he's on board for doing like interfacing for the, those are done during cuts. Okay, so those are not Cambridge cuts. They're too big. These are the Cambridge cuts, though. Anyway, Dal sounds like he's on board for doing the interfacing for Kato, which is awesome because it's going to save us a shit ton of time. Basically, what I'll do is, I think, well, you're going to do these so that we clear up some of the stuff that's like sitting around. This and probably the mini traveler slings. And then I think we'll go in and we'll make all of our fabric selections. And then we'll go in and we'll do, well, we'll cut it obviously. And then Dallas can go in and interface everything. So still kind of debating how we're going to do, if we're not doing large box bags, how we're doing everything else. But that's a future Katie problem right now. It's not a current Katie problem. Okay, these are all of the main lining panels. Yeah, it's just there's way too big a pile for them. Okay, so most of these do actually have their like things that's useful. Okay. All right, now it's into the wax canvas, and this is where it's like, what is what? Actually, it looks pretty straightforward, to be honest. Okay, and then these are going to be the interior slip pocket, because there's 2 pieces of them. But there's also a crap ton. So we just got, well, we didn't just, but we got back from our trip to Japan at the beginning of March. I want to be back in Japan already. Badly enough that Air Miles has swapped their program, so I've already booked my flights for October, which is probably a good plan because, honest to God, I have a feeling they probably went up in price recently. Ooh. Okay, so upper zipper panel and lower zipper panel, exterior slip pocket panel. Okay, so this is why it's important that I marked out what they are. So these are all the wax canvas pieces. And so we're probably going to need zips, and we're going to need, we're just going to need zips. And we're going to also need the foot for this, which is the Teflon foot, or whatever the hell it's called. Because we're going to be working with the wax canvas, because it's pieced, I think, in such a way that we just do the exterior and the interior. Something. I do apologize. I'm like not operating, besides the fact that I've been away from the sewing machine for so long, I'm not operating necessarily at the top capacity right now because I am sick. But the show must go on right now. Because 3 shows in April and we haven't even cut any kato. So I'm like, I'm a little bit fucked. And not in a fun way. And I also don't want to push it too late in the day so that, like, I'm not going to be coming down to work tonight sort of thing because I am sick and I don't want to, like, make it worse. So, okay. I want my phone because that's got the instructions rather than putting them up on the laptop. Bookity books. Put this to DNA or D&D. Also, Miss Freckles Designs, who designed the glasses case that we all adore, came out with a new little fucking cute pouch. I'm excited about this pattern. I've collected a bunch of OBGME, which are the ties that go over top of the OB when you're like wearing them. And I've been trying to figure out how I want to use them on bags, but this is like basically just a little tie, side tie thing. So watch for that soon. Not right now. Probably in time for Odafest, to be honest. Maybe. I say that and then almost break out in hives. Not quite that dramatic, but. Okay. We need all our zippers. God damn. Okay. Crank. That's something I probably should have put on the information. Okay, can I write on this in Sharpie? We'll try. Why not? Anyway, Japan was so fucking good. I almost feel like I should do like a separate vlog for it. I promise, I did actually do snack videos, but the problem was that we were so tired. I'm like, yeah, it's not exactly the best content necessarily. I will be posting them slowly. We didn't end up doing as many as I actually wanted to, but like, it was amazing traveling with the kids. And it was like particularly brutal for a lot of things. We were all so tired by the end of the day from like just regulating and keeping executive function going. It was ridiculous. So not as much done. Like, I anticipated being able to do quite a bit of work while I was there and stuff like that, because I was like, okay, cool, we'll like, that's the main closure. We'll like have time at the room and stuff like that to like chill, and I will do work and all of that. And it was just like, by the time we got home, or back to the hotel, I was just like, not happening. So, it just did not happen. Okay, we're doing the small bag size. So there's all the zipper sizes that we need. Sweet. Okay, that actually did really well. I figured it would, but you know. The other thing we could do is we could actually just do the interiors. the interiors need zippers too. Damn it. At the same time, it's like I need to actually kind of sew the interiors so I can figure out. Let's sew all the slip pockets, because then we can go in and we can make zipper selections based on their colors and based on the photos that I have of what we're like. Yeah, okay. And if you're like, Katie, you sound like you're making this complicated. Probably, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, let's sew the slip pocket. The other nice thing about the slip pocket is it's just straightforward. Don't have to think about shit, basically. Oh, man. I really should just be going for a nap. But this is like the gentlest, gentlest thing I can be doing right now. Okay. We could be choosing fabrics, I guess, but that takes more mental energy, I think. Okay. Place the L pattern pieces right sides together. So that's all of these pieces right here. And then we just basically have to sew a rectangle and trim down the edges. Okay. And leave a turning hole. That's what I mean by this being like one of the simpler things to do right now. Okay, we don't need that foot right now then either, since we're like not doing anything with, we're not doing wax canvas right now. Yeah, no, but so with Japan, the kids got treated so fucking well. In Kansai, it was actually kind of ridiculous and so cool. So Kansai is the Kyoto-Tokyo region. Kyoto and Osaka region. It's where I actually did my exchange back in university. What's your seam allowance? And it's where we spent the majority of the trip, which I'm actually really happy. I'm glad we did. The Kansai region has always felt like a second home, obviously, because, again, that's where I did my exchange, all of that. But, like, whenever I've returned to it, it's been just, like, yeah. Tokyo was good, but feels like they're tired of tourists, and I can't blame them, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know. It was interesting because, like, in Kansai, a lot of, like, if we had a miscommunication, it's because we were legitimately miscommunicating. But we went and stayed at the hotel that we've stayed at before. And primarily before, it's been a business hotel, which it's a business area. It's Shinbashi, all of this. And that's good. So, like, a lot of business people staying at the hotel and stuff like that. But the clientele for this hotel has changed drastically. Now, I don't know if that's just because we were there during the marathon week, potentially, as well, like Tokyo Marathon Week, and that's just who is in town or what. But it was, like, very different vibe. And then got treated extremely differently than we've ever had treatment before there. Very much a vibe of, like, I think they're just tired. I'm not gonna, like, rag on them too much. I'm also not gonna give the hotel name. If you really want to dig it up, it's on the Instagram. It's still fine, but it does feel like they've definitely been working towards changing their clientele, and because they've changed their clientele, they're dealing with a different demographic, and they're also tired of that. I'm just like, okay. Because there is definitely a different vibe going on. I don't think we'll stay there again. In part, we can't. I don't think there's rooms that allow the kids once they are over 6. That's kind of the cutoff for co-sleeping in the same bed and stuff like that. So after that point, you have to book them as adults. Yeah, I was a little bit underwhelmed by the experience because it was also kind of, previously it was kind of a premium hotel, especially at the price point I was at. Amazing breakfast. This is like got art in the lobby, and all of this, and it's just kind of like they've cheaped out on the breakfast now. Basically they've done like, A, the price has gone up significantly, and B, they've like, so now you got to choose a thing off the set menu. So I'm so glad we did not book it for the full week we were there, because I was like, it's kind of expensive, and if we don't enjoy it because it's changed, I don't want to be committed to it. Thank God, because we ordered like eggs Benedict the first morning, and it was $45 basically, and the worst fucking eggs Benedict I've ever had. It was cold, and it's like, and you can choose all this stuff you want off the buffet now, and I was just like, the best thing off the buffet was this basically scalloped potatoes. And they like used to have like tamagoyaki, which is the sweet egg rolled omelet thing, and like the kids adore that. Didn't have that. They didn't really have any scrambled eggs or anything like that. Their fruit, which they used to also like have the best pineapple. That was what I remember. And like fresh baked croissant, and not croissant, but like the chocolatine and everything like that. And like, it's just, the fruit was canned now. And yeah, I was underwhelmed by the experience. Whereas like in Hirokatashi, it was just so good. I don't know. So we weren't really planning to do a lot of time in Tokyo again until the kids were older anyway, I don't think. And I'm really glad that was kind of where we were already leaning, because, yeah, I think we're done with Tokyo for a bit. I might dip in and out once in a while for tomato, but the honest truth of it is that I only ended up buying about 10 pounds of fabric at Tomato. I think I got like, 10 or 15 different prints. They're still good to fill in some gaps that Nomada doesn't have. But Nomada also just treated me better, to be honest. I've never had a problem with tomato before, but yeah, again, just the vibe. The vibes are off. I don't know if it was me or what, but their selection wasn't as good. And then the staff was tired. So, anyway. But, that's fine. I still much prefer Kyoto. Good, but overall, amazing trip. 10 out of 10. Would still do again. We met up with a friend that lives in Hong Kong. She spent like a full week with us, I think. Kids adore her too, so like that was really nice. And we met up with a couple of my friends, one of my Japanese friends and her husband, that we haven't seen since I was there with Dallas for his first trip, so like 10 years. They've got a little kiddo as well now, which is super cool. And then another friend and her husband who I'd never met before. Met up with them. It was just really, really good. Yeah, Dallas did really good in his marathon. He was very happy with his results. 3:30, I think, ish, 3:32. But it's apparently a super, like, a deceptively difficult course. Far hillier than even, like, the map kind of indicates, because it just does this, like, undulation consistently. I did really good in my marathon. I did not finish. I got 39.4 kilometers out of 42.4 or 42.2 and got swept. It was a fucking hot day. It was 20 degrees. And then it was a few things like I actually ran past a medical emergency as I was struggling to like get my heart rate under control. So that was fun. And honestly, the sweep vehicle, because I was so far in the back of the pack, the sweep vehicle was like right there consistently, and having them constantly being like, we're right here, keep going, but we're here, was also not exactly, it was definitely there. It was a source of anxiety. Yeah, I am disappointed. I am extremely happy with what I accomplished, but I am disappointed. So what's going to happen? So it was the heat. You can never predict the weather. But it's definitely the fact that my body has been in a cut since August with the Ozempic, because obviously the less calories that you consume, the less you have available for training. Reduced calorie counts and endurance training are not friends. Even at the speeds that I'm at. If I had known the impact that the Ozempic would have on my running, I would have probably not applied for Osaka Marathon. However, I had not seen those impacts yet, obviously, because I started in August, and by that point I was already had applied. Fucking amazing course. I definitely want to go back and reconquer it, or finish it. But right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the amount of running that I'm actually doing so I can focus in on a few other things over the next couple of years. Shorter distances is part of it. Strength training. I need muscle mass because I don't think I've lost a lot with the Ozempic, but I probably have lost at least some. So we're going to go in and build and maintain what I have. And get less burnt out on running. So I'm thinking that I will probably try or start applying for Osaka again in about 5 years. Kids will be older, the business will be in a different spot, hopefully. And I'll be in a different spot, medication, strength-wise, all of that as well. The other thing that did happen, and this was not something that I could have planned for either, is that about, like, on my last long run, so about 3 weeks before Osaka, or 3 weeks-ish, yeah, it was just before taper, it was my last long run, my knee started to really act up, which is definitely a strength thing. I have been seeing my physio about it, but, like, what are you gonna do? It did extremely well up until the 35K mark, and it started to like cramp up, and it was bad. So that's part of why I need to go in and strengthen up, is that'll help with niggling and all of this. I don't necessarily need, like, I need to get faster, but that's weather conditions too. And that's just going to naturally happen. And if I drop my distances, I will train more consistently. And it's the consistency that's going to get me faster. Do I regret it? No. It was actually, the hardest part of it was probably dealing with my eldest's disappointment, because they couldn't understand, in some ways, the failure of it. So they were super disappointed. They were like, why didn't you get a medal? And it's like, because I didn't finish and all of this. So in some ways that was almost harder than my own disappointment that I didn't finish. Part of it that I hate is that I did all of that training and I have, like, very little to show for it, sort of thing. Or at least, like, that's what it feels like. Anyway, it's complicated. I'm proud of what I did and accomplished. I am upset that I didn't finish. Although, at the same time, I don't know. I think I had the last 3K in me. But, like, the last cutoff point was 41.5 kilometers. And I would have fucking had a tantrum. 700 meters from the finish line, and they cut you off if you don't pass it in a certain amount of time. No. I would have had a full-on tantrum if I got that far and they cut me off. So I don't know, given heart rate, knee, all of it, if I would have actually finished even, like, I feel like I had 3K in me, but I don't know if I'd actually have finished. So anyway, they loaded us on a bus at that point, and then the the bus broke down. I said, yep, got swept. And then the bus wouldn't even go. It's like, oh, you could have just like left us running and we could have gone back to the castle faster than this bus. I think it felt like when we were on it, it felt like the parking brake wouldn't disengage or something like that is what it actually felt like. It's like, okay. Anyway. Yeah, we had a successful shopping trip to Nomura. One of the women that works there has worked there since I was there in 2022 and 2023, and she still recognizes me, which makes me feel like a rock star. It's such a cool feeling. And she still recognizes me even after 3 years. I know I go in with pink hair, but seriously, how many people does she see every year? Like, I'm impressed personally. Yeah, I'm realizing that I didn't actually get a lot of footage when I was in there, so I'll put together what I have, but it might not be the best. If you do want to see a similar shopping experience in Nomura, I do have one from my May 2023 trip, and that's honestly probably a better representation of the experience in general. But yeah, basically they sent me away. They're like, you can go and do your other shopping and we will message you to come back. And I'm like, amazing, thank you. And then we went and we filled 2 bags at Toji. Toji is the temple that I go to for their market. They have like a market day every 21st of the month, as well as every first Sunday, I think. I've never been to the one on the first Sunday though. I always go on the 21st. Mostly because Natsumi of Day Day House is there. So yeah, we had our flights with WestJet. We did the direct flight WestJet Calgary to Narita. It's fine. It's not amazing. It's not terrible. They got us there safe, so I don't know what more to ask for in some ways. That is what we're paying them for. But yeah, it was lacking compared to Air Canada, which is wild to say because most people complain about Air Canada, but the meal thing was still a thing. They don't even give you a menu card once you get on the plane. The wilder part of that being is that they don't even give you a beverage card. So like every time they come by with the beverage cart, it's like you have to ask what they have. It's like, just put a printed laminated sheet in our seat backs. I don't get that. Or if you want to save the wait, you've already got the entertainment system, put the drink list on the entertainment system. I don't feel like that's that hard. Anyway, that one baffled me. I'm like, you know that this plane, literally that plane just flies back and forth Calgary to Narita. You know what you're serving on it. You just put a seat back card in the seat back pockets. And if it's flying to South Korea, because they do Calgary to Korea as well now, I'm sure it's the same thing. But I'm pretty sure that flight just goes back and forth. But I'm bitching and complaining about it, but I'm going to also be taking it again in October because they've changed all the hand carry rules for bringing goods back into Canada and what you have to fill out when you get here. And yeah, if it goes into customs jail, basically they don't confiscate it, but they take it away from you at the airport. If they take it from you, I'm like, getting it out of customs jail in Calgary is going to be far easier than getting it out of customs jail in Vancouver. So we're going with the direct flight. Also, the other thing that made me decide that is that the youngest will be in kindergarten, and we're going to do the whole Dallas. Leaving as Dallas is flying in, so I can drop the youngest off at kindergarten, the eldest off with the grandparents, and then head into the city. So it's not because otherwise the Vancouver timing is like stupid early, and then I got to be at the airport by no later than about 7, and care doesn't open till 7:30, so it just doesn't work quite as nicely. Speaking of timing, what time is it? 20 to 3. Okay. So yeah, I think actually the one thing I was impressed with WestJet is that, well, okay, they had 2 options for meals, and it wasn't chicken or beef, it was chicken or vegetarian, which, okay, kudos to them. That's really cool, actually. So many people are vegetarian, why not just offer that? And then I will give them credit where credit is due in that they did actually have a hot second meal. Most of the time Air Canada is like a sandwich or something like that, which there's nothing wrong with. I'm not going to say that there's anything wrong with that. But I will say that, yeah, it was actually kind of nice to have a hot meal. Was it good? No, but it was a nice gesture. So I'm thinking what I'm going to end up doing on this set of flights is just make sure I eat before I leave, sort of thing, right? And maybe even bring a snack. And then on the flip side, eat before I get out of Tokyo, and definitely bring food, because honest to God, the meal out of Japan was not good. At least I didn't think it was. Dallas wasn't too offended by it, but I was like, it was teriyaki chicken and somehow it was still dry. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Thankfully, we had gone for delicious ramen in the airport, but still, it was like, ugh. So, yeah, yeah, and then the youngest, jet lag kicked our butts, both directions, holy fuck. And then the youngest got sick last week, so yay. I'm pretty sure that the eldest was actually patient 0, because he had a sniffly nose and stuff like that, but like it passed pretty quick. But youngest got it hard, or they got a different virus, I don't know. But yeah, they were sick for like a week, and pukey and all, like, and then it moved into like congestion and all of that. So now I'm dealing with the congestion part of it. Hopefully I don't go into the vomiting part, because my God, I do not like throwing up. Keep it away from me, please. But that does mean that last week, since I wasn't doing like basement studio work, I was doing upstairs studio work. Well, upstairs work. I have actually gotten everything washed and dried and ironed, and hear this, folded and put away. It's actually on the shelves. So I'm actually extremely proud of myself for that. I think that's one of the fastest turnarounds for that work. Because I was like, oh, I won't really get a chance to touch it until like after Peace, maybe Odafest even. No, I am impressed. It's about 120 fabrics. It's a lot of fabric. I'm also pretty sure that the dryer on my, or the like, I think the what would you call it? Like the heater in the dryer is just dying. Because it was struggling. I can't tell if it was because I ran too much through it, or if it's because it's dying. I think it's a bad combo of the two. It is the original laundry set from when this house was built, and honestly, it's a shitty set. I did a bunch of work on the washing machine right when we got in, because my God, the racket it made. And the guy's like, Samsungs just do this. And I'm like, yeah, but we had a Samsung in our old house and it did not do this. It's like squeaking and rattling and rolling. Ugh. It still does pretty bad. It shakes like the whole house sometimes. Actually, I think that's happened on stream. I've been like, why is my house shaking? And it's like, oh, right, I'm doing laundry. It could also be, well, that shouldn't be on the building though, because honestly, we are west facing, and the Chinook winds come and they blow across the prairie right at the house, and it doesn't make the house shake. But the dryer does, or the washing machine does. Anyway, the dryer was struggling, so I'm like, is that something I'm gonna have to worry about here coming up? I don't know. Oh no, that one didn't get caught. Okay. That's okay, that's easy to fix. Anyway, so we're going to work through we're going to work through all the Cambridge that I had previously cut out and like had on the docket before Japan, and the Dundurn as well. I am actually working with, working to get the Obi water resistant. It's not going to be waterproof, but I am trying to get it water resistant because someone pointed out in Vancouver when we were out there that it's a very Calgary bag. To not have it water resistant at least. So we are going through and we are experimenting with different water resisting products. I experimented with Odacoat, but Odacoat made actually two of the Obi like bleed instantly. So definitely is not dye safe, which is wild because it was perfectly fine on the other two. But like, so I don't want to risk that with I don't want to have to take the time to test every single Obi. B, it's not like we're going to be testing on a high saturation point either. Like we're going to be testing mostly on a lower inconspicuous area, right? So Odacoat I think is out. Not a complete waste though, because now we can use that for the cottons that we'll put in with the wax canvas for the traveler slings. Wish I'd done that before we started making them, but it is what it is. So now we're on to Scotch Guard, which has the drawback, the con, that it reeks when you put it on. However, it is unscented when it's dry, and so far has not caused any dye. Like it hasn't, there's been no issue with it. I'm just poking out the corners on these pockets here. We're not doing much more with the pockets. Basically now we're just going to go in and choose zippers. I guess we should also see what color wax canvas these are going with. Because I'm pretty sure, like oh my god, you can't see what the fuck I'm talking about because of the light. Which, hey, awesome for me. Terrible for streaming. Anyway, I'm pretty sure like these florals, we're doing a, the bright blue, right? Maybe. I'm just like, oh no, that's right. I'm looking at my layout still, and I'm like, maybe I need to put my sewing machine back in like towards the corner. But I like having the big windows in front of my machine. But if I did do that, then I could do we're doing the cylinder arm, guys. I just don't know quite when. I'm going to wait for things to settle out a little bit. We had some more planned expenses once we got back from Japan. The youngest needed a bed. And stuff like that. But yeah, we're getting a cylinder arm here soon. So I need to figure out the space on that. Anyway, it's really tempting to shuffle this around one more time. I really like how it's laid out right now, but it's also at the same time, I think if we were to actually take this machine and not, so this would end up becoming the cylinder arm machine, same as what we used to do for the thing, or for this one. And then the table could go in between the two machines still. Because this table over here, I think, still needs to become it'll need to become the serger thing. And I think we'll keep the desk that's over here right now. But, because it's super useful for when the kids are older. And why not? Like, it's a set of legs and a tabletop. It's not going to be insane to store. Could also sell it too. That's what I've done with the other one. I actually had two, but we really only need one. Or I could set it up over in the corner for the kids, but it isn't it's not a good kids desk. And I do have I've got 2 desks for them right now that will actually, they move up and down, which is super fun. Or the a grow with me desk sort of thing. Anyway, I'm a rambling. I don't even know what I was talking about before I said that. Yes, we're definitely getting a cylinder arm. We're going to go with, there's a location out of Ontario that sells secondhand Juki. They're probably out of an industrial environment. However, I think we'll be okay. There's a woman down in Lethbridge, and hers at least seems to be working mostly well. And if I desperately need it, there is a servicer somewhere. I think there's actually a young guy who's doing service now out of Calgary, so that's good. And if not, there's one up in Edmonton that would, I'm sure, happily do it. Okay. We need to tag in what we're doing. Okay. I have photos because I was like, we're not doing this bullshit anymore. We are going to like, yeah, bag fabric plotting. Okay. So the strawberries and the blue sakura are bright blue. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do it with the zipper tabs or like pieces here. And then we've got, and then this guy, the gray was gray. Perfect. The sage color was that teal color. Okay, where did the tabs go? They're over here. Okay. Gray. Blue. Blah. How many zipper tabs do we need? Just one. Okay. La, 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 la. Okay. Crepe and sakura on gold is supposed to be that like mulberry pink color. This one. Ow. Which there's definitely one down here. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Long-tailed tits. Snow fairy. It's that nice dark brown. Why don't I have the rest of you? Did I delete you 'cause I'm dumb? Slash wasn't thinking 'cause I was in a rush. Fucking hell. Oh, okay, no. I at least have this guy. So this one is also this light brown. That makes sense. Okay, there we go. Then I can make good guesses that these ones are gray. That's fun. Yep. And then that's blue. Okay, cool. So now we can do zipper matchups. Okay. Yeah, because I don't really have a purple that would go with the banana cats. 3 o'clock. So I got about 2 more hours as long as my energy lasts. Okay, so the only one that I have sitting right here right now, I'm going to have to go grab the zipper bins. Actually, one zipper bin is right here. Covered, of course, but it's here. So we have the teal with the gold, which might go with this sage, but the teal might be a little bit too bright. Usually with that sage one, I end up with navy, and I think that might still be the best option. Okay. Oh, it's up here. I don't even have to move that much. Both the... Okay, both the thread catchers are, of course, on top, so let's move those. Ooh, and then I normally, with the obi and kimono that I use, that usually only gets a kind of like airing out. So it sits around and like airs out, literally. Just chilling for a bit. We are still doing that part as well, but I was looking up how to like actually deodorize. obi and kimono, and someone, instead of vodka, actually suggested distilled water and vinegar. And you know what? Fucking worked. There's some of them that were really bad still have a scent, so I'll probably still go in, and I might spray some of them that are like the most offensive again, and that's fine. But honestly, it took care of probably 80% of the scent that is actually like there. It was ridiculous. What is this box of nonsense? What are you all supposed to be? Are you just scraps? What the fuck? We're just gonna say that that is large scraps, and you get to go over there. I'm going to shuffle some of my bins around so that I actually have more room. I'm going to ignore that bin for now. Okay. All right. So here is our box of zips. All the colors. All right. Okay. Now the question becomes as well, is there even better options than what I have right now? I don't think there is. Although if there was something like a dark brown and gold, that would be nice. So let's just take a look. I do have new products coming in, by the way. I'm super excited. They look so good. Some new scissors and some needle stoppers, like knitting needle stoppers. And I did actually get in my new supplies for the tri-glides and stuff like that. Still need to go get some more D-rings, but that can, at least the black D-rings, but that can wait for sure. Okay, there's where I normally buy it. Brr. Why is it so cold in here? I have the heater on. The heater is working. Okay. There's the 20 meter amounts. Excellent. Gold color. They're sold out. Okay. And that's purple. And that's silver. Because I'm just like, okay, do we do... Yeah, so there's like that color. But I'd have to wait for it to come in. So let's just work with what we have. Let's work with what we got. So, okay. In that case, we're going to do... Yeah. All right. First things first, we're going to do this light blue for that one. Oh, God, we need more zipper anyway. Jesus. Okay. Because the other thing is... shit. Really? Okay, I think there's enough for that one. We're gonna do off-white for... Oh, there's an obi in here. Why is there an obi in here? What the fuck? Good God, Katie. Okay, off-white for... I think is still... Actually, we're gonna do off-white for the Sakura and the Snow Fairy, because that'll be, yeah, that'll be good, I think. Oh my goodness. But yeah, actually we are in, actually I think there is more off-white at least, but we are probably still going to need to do a zipper order. Yay. Because this is what we use for the minis, and there's lots of minis to be made. Where's your end? Oh, there's lots of you left. Okay. Okay, so the off-white will be for this one with like the sand wax canvas along with the white ones and the long-tailed tits. Okay, that'll be that. That'll be good. Warm. And it'll go well with both of those wax canvases. Actually, I think that's probably going to be the best option here as well. Yeah, okay. So the raspberry color will be that as well. And then the grays will be black. Excuse me. Or navy. Actually, I think those need to be black and silver, to be honest. And then the teal over here, I think will be... Yeah, we're going to do navy with the sage. Because it just looks good. I know that sounds weird, probably, but it'll look really fucking good. And then I think we might just need black and silver with these guys. Because I think they're all cooler toned. And I think the silver will just look better with it. So let me go grab the black and silver. I know you're not going to see the Japanese fabric, right? Like, that's just not how it works. But I don't know. It sets the tone for the whole thing. That doesn't need to be down here because that's running gear, actually. Okay, come with me, my pretty. Yes, I know there's lots of you. Please come out. I promise this is more organized before I pulled out of the bin, but whatever. How's the Scotch guarding going? Oh, hell yeah. Okay, good. So the Scotch guard looks, it's not dry yet, but it still hasn't caused any dye bleed. Fuck yeah. Which is good. And exciting. Because that means that we'll be able to at least water resist the OB. Again, not like waterproof, but water resist. Oh yeah, that's better. Because these are all like, yeah, we'll do black with silver for these guys. Okay. Cool. And then I need to do the zipper thing, and then I need to do the other thing. Holy fuck, I'm tired. Should I be doing more thinking things, or should I be doing like, here, pull the elastic through this thing? I don't know. The other part that hasn't helped, I thought Japan would actually like push me past this point, and I did not actually have this big a deal last year. But a lot of times in like March, I hit what I term, or February, March and February usually, hit what I call the doldrums. And I figured going into Japan in February would probably help, just mean that I don't get the doldrums this year. And oh my god, though, they hit hard. It's just like brutal, probably some of the worst I've had in the last few years. So yay. I know it's probably a little bit of seasonal affective disorder or depression or whatever the fuck it's called. Does that make it easier? No, but at least I'm able to name that it's probably that. But the weird part of it is it's not all winter long either. It's only like February and March. It's really annoying. Okay, is this actually heating? Yes. Okay, it just feels like it's like blowing cold air around. Anyway, not anything that like I'm concerned about. It's just like lack of motivation. And just, yeah. Jet lag, I don't think, I think the jet lag probably made it worse this year. It's like, oh, gross. All right, we need 3 of this odd colored blue zipper for the ones here. 2. And these are the pieces for the pockets, the exterior and interior pocket. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to cut all of the exterior zipper. Okay. One, 2, and 3. And then actually, so Friday, kiddos are off school, so I will not be on Friday. Really, we only have tomorrow and Thursday. Yeah, and at least until I recover from this bullshit that I contracted from the youngest. And once I think we're gonna finish up on the Cambridge because I've already got them cut. Stupid not to. Then we'll go in and we'll select the, fabrics for the Kato. And then, like I mentioned, I'm pretty sure Dallas is gonna help interface those. So we just have to sit down and trim them out. And I think what's going to happen is I'm going to go in and do because right now they make the large box bags, but I think what we're going to do instead is we're going to swap it to Kato and gyoza bag. I think. I don't know. I'm like in this dilemma right now because I don't think the large box bags are worth making. Actually, what I should do is I should look at the trend over the last few years. Because part of it is I know my wholesalers also sell a lot for me. So it's like I don't want to cut it out completely, but I don't think it's worth just being like, all right, we're going to make like 100 large box bags. Given that I didn't even sell that many last year. I think the stats are I sold 47. I actually did sell more than I thought. But it pales in comparison to what we sold of like the Kato and the small box bag, which were well into the hundreds. So I'm just like, I don't know yet. But if we were to make the gyoza bag with it, then it'd be a lot better. Although we might be able to like just get the rest of the cuts for the bags and stuff. Although then that means I need to like change my buying amounts. Because the other part of this is we're no longer making tote bags. For sure. I think we sold like 10 or 12 last year. So those are definitely going to be going towards gyoza bags and stuff like that. Actually, I think that's what we've tagged them even for. I need to get some more interior fabric because I'm using, or at least on the round that I used. Actually, I think I've got fabric right here for it. I was like, I used twill, and there's literally twill sitting right here waiting. So. By the way, I think we also had way better cherry blossom viewing with the early cherry blossoms this trip than we did during our actual Hanami trip. Fucking insane. It was just like, yeah, it was wild. We need 3 sets of these guys. So basically there is a, oh, what is it called? Something Zakura. Kawaza Zakura. It's literally the early cherry blossoms, and they bloom around about the same time as all the plum blossoms, which is what blooms in February. And then, yeah, when we were in Tokyo, there's a bunch of the early sakura actually in bloom. It was really fucking cool to see. So we got plum blossoms, we got apricots, we got camellia, which I don't remember ever seeing, which is super cool. And then we also got, what else did we see? Some sort of white flower. It looks like it's on a magnolia tree, but I don't think it's actually magnolia. Anyway, yeah, and then we also saw like, yeah, it was actually quite good. Although I did tell Dallas, I'm like, all right, this is the last time that we're coming. This time we're going, like, I want to go in April next time to go see the wisteria. Because I'm like, and part of it is also, it's like, every time we have been to Japan, it has either been dead or dying. Because he's only ever been during Hanami. And everything's just on the edge of, like, actually being nice again. Or he's been in, like, November when it's Momiji season and everything is dying. So I'm like, let's go in May when it's actually, like, nice outside and it's warm and less rainy. Because actually the weather in Kyoto and Osaka was actually pretty decent, but then of course it was like Tokyo was like okay, it was fine except for the freaking day we went to Disneyland. Only day, all trip pretty much rained nonstop, absolutely fucking miserable. It was just like, of course. I still don't feel like we've done that park justice. And I will say this, even as a Disney adult, is that Disney Sea has gotten worse. People used to say it was the best Disney park, and I would agree with that assessment. It is no longer the best Disney park. This was an issue previously of, like, the lines always get really long there, and that's fine. But they've, like, removed a bunch of attractions that used to be there. And then they've, like, yeah, it's just, I don't know. We were also there during spring break, so it was a lot of, like, not spring break, it was, like, graduation season. So right before people were, like, kiddos are transitioning from, like, middle school to high school and up to middle school, blah, 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 blah. So busy on top of it, but it was, like, it just wasn't fun. Anyway, our hotel though, oh my god, hands down, if you ever have an opportunity or inkling that you want to go to Tokyo Disneyland and you want to stay at a Disneyland hotel, and you can swing it. I'm not going to say this is a cheap hotel room. We are extremely lucky that we invested in, like, our DVC points when we did. But the Fantasy Springs Hotel is fucking spectacular. And I will say this is one of the places that we met probably one of the most enthusiastic people in Tokyo, and he was so adorable. He worked in the konbini at the hotel, and, like, was there every night we were there. It was like, yeah. And he was just there's those two brackets of people, is always the joke, that work at Disney. It's like the people who are, like, there because it's a job, and then there's the three brackets: people that are there because of the job, people that are there because they love Disney, and then people who are there because they're crazy, because they're the characters or friends with the characters. And this was definitely felt like someone who was there because they loved Disney, sort of thing. Anyway, he was super adorable. I can't even remember his name though. I should have paid better attention to his name tag. Anyway, but, like, the hotel smelled like wisteria. They've decorated it absolutely spectacular. Like, just, oh, it was so good. I think the only thing I would have changed about that experience was, and this is not something you can plan again, because, yeah, it's not like I can control the weather, is I would have swapped our Disney Sea and our Disneyland days. the strategy being that I didn't want to have to like train over to Disney Sea after getting out of Disneyland to go get our bags to go to our next hotel. Honestly, we should have just done that anyway. I think that's the only thing I would have changed. So, but whatever. It's all good. The kids had fun. It's also like next time we do it, we'll definitely do Disney at the beginning because it was a lot at the end of a very, very long trip. Our poor kids. They were so tired by the end. They were such troopers. They did really, really good for the lack of like routine and the amount of shit we did. It's ridiculous. So we did also hike Fushimi Inari, which was fun. I really like hiking Fushimi Inari. Fushimi Inari, again, is the business success shrine in Kyoto. Basically the mountain with all of the tori on it, the tori gates, which are the Shinto gates. And yeah, it was like, it actually wasn't too busy, especially when she got to the top. Busier than I have seen in the past, but not like insane or anything like that. The kids hiked the majority of that, and then we went and had like the best fucking coffee in Kyoto that we had. It was like tucked in this little alleyway, and they had ice cream. Definitely going back in October because I always go to Fushimi Inari to at least do my prayers. Since I'll be going in the same calendar year, same year. I probably won't do another AMA, but yeah, you gotta go pray at least. Got a new Dharma, so I've made my wish on the Dharma. We'll see what happens. Last time I got one, I was like I ended up actually, the wish came true in the first like 6 months. So yeah, I need a new Dharma for a while. That's the little red doll that you fill the eyes in when your wishes come true. In case you're wondering. Okay, 20 after 3. So now we are going to go in and we're going to prep the zippers. I think we have to maybe swap the foot now because we'll be working with the wax canvas. Brr. Oh yeah, if you want an absolute... Okay, so... catching up on books. For book club, we're doing Shield of Sparrows and Rights of the Starling for April. Rights of the Starling comes out on April 7th, next Tuesday. So we'll have a week to read it, but that's okay because it's, honest to God, it's an addictive read. So good. So good. No, she wants you to construct the panel first. We're going to prep these zippers first. Why would we follow the direction? Oh, fuck me. To do that stupid bend thing. I know why we're doing the bend thing. I hate doing the bend thing. I'm so tired. Okay, we're not doing this right now. I'm so tired. We're gonna do some elastic instead for the cake cozies that are chilling down here waiting for their elastic. See? Look at, we always have more work to do. I also have a scrunchie over here, and actually there's a whole stack of fabric over there that I could probably make a bunch of scrunchies out of too. Anyway, what was I going on about? Don't remember. I've got the majority of the shirts that we've had on hand ready to go. I did actually get gifted a bunch from a friend as well she sent me a big box, so I don't have those ones done, but I have nearly all the ones that we've thrifted recently done, so that's exciting. There's a bunch upstairs waiting to have there's a bunch of sleeves upstairs waiting to be trimmed. Dallas yesterday was like, what are these for again? And I'm like, they're pockets, just pockets. but why not? It's fun. It's different. And it works. And then, yeah, because I was kind of like, okay. So I got into, yeah, they haven't made the announcements, but I paid my deposit, so I think I can talk about it. I'll get my welcome package next week. Anyway, I got into Art Market, which is a 4-day market in Calgary in November. And it has been a goal show for a very long time. Being a goal show being because I haven't had a lot of products that would be like, this is a show for everyone sort of thing. It is not a niche down show. So now that I have more handbags and stuff like that, I'm more like, it's a better fit. I'm a better fit for the show. So we him and hawed about it because, or I did a little bit, and Dallas had a good point of like, well, the eldest, like, we're going into homeschooling this year and stuff, so maybe not. But I was like, do you know what though? I'm not training for a marathon. And like, there's other things as well. And it's like, it's never going to get easier than right now either. Well, it might once the kids are a little bit older, but like realistically, I also can't hold my career back either. So I went for it. I applied and they picked me out of first round of picks, which is like such a big, it's so fucking cool. There's first pick being that then of course they didn't even have any hesitation about accepting me into the show as a new vendor, which tells me that they are either watching me or knew of me or something, right? So super fucking cool. It does mean that we have to lock in quite hard over the summer and figure it out. So why this conversation all came about is the fact that, oh shit, I already had it all cut. Katie. Look, I gotta be more organized so I can do this big show in November. And, fuck me. And prepped and ready to go. Yeah, that's actually where I was going with that, is that I want to be locked in as best as I can because, like, we'll have 2 months after Knit City. And one of those weeks I am going to be away in Japan. Now, that is a week that Dallas is home, so normally work does droop a bit while he's home. So there is that. But basically what I'm thinking is it's like we're going to go in, we're going to do Knit City, and then we're going to cut everything that we will then finish prepping for Art Market in November. And then we'll just sew. November's just sewing. And hoping that Japan, like, jet lag doesn't kick our ass as bad as it did this time, because holy shit. It took me a full week. Probably actually closer to 2 to recover this time. So, and if you're like, well, why aren't you sewing the Cambridge right now then? Because I'm tired and I don't want to mess them up. Besides, we got some work done on them, and that was kind of the point today, is just a gentle re-entry, because realistically I am out of practice right now. And all the other excuses under the sun. Okay, we will actually trim one scrunchy elastic since it's right here. I don't remember how long these are, so we're just going to do a guesstimate. And if we need less, it's easier to trim it off than to put it on. We are going to have a big order of, oh right, I've got my little, this was super cute too. So this was also from the Black Cat Shrine, and it's like this little, it's an omikuji, which is fortune. I got a good fortune, so I brought it home with me. Forgot about that. I didn't realize it was in that bag, so we're gonna tuck that in there. Yeah, stuff and sundry. Actually, there's a few more cake cozies down here to finish. Let's do that then first. Anyway, yeah, we got, what did we get done? We got enough done. It's fine. It's better than nothing. It's at least a step in the right direction. So, So yeah, part of what we did when we got home is we did get the youngest a bed and a bed frame. And now that they're not sick, they have been sleeping through the night in their bed. Like, until they're normal, they're like, their wake up time around 7:30, which is what we, so typically when we're going to school, I'm trying to be up around 6:30. Doesn't always work that way, but that's what we're trying for. Blah, 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 blah. But anyway, yeah, it's like, I love the fact that so the youngest usually would come in and cuddle me. They're a mama's kid. But, yeah, no, they haven't been. And I'm like, yes! And, oh. My body feels better. But my brain is, like, sad. I actually liked the middle ground of being able to sleep until they woke up and then came in for cuddles. And then we just all got up for the day. So it's one thing I am looking forward to with homeschooling is like being able to settle into a more natural rhythm for us. Because they're both wake up about the same time when they have the opportunity to do that. Like on their own rhythms. So... I know I keep saying this, we need to also source new tags, which, ugh, I don't want to have to source new tag. I have to anyway, but I don't want to have to source them. And then we also, we do need to plot out the new shit that we're going to make this year. Rather than just flying by the seat of our pants, even though that's totally what we're going to end up doing anyway. One of the things I was thinking is I still want passport folders. I don't think the pattern that I was using is the way to go anymore. I need to just figure out how to actually make them a little bit larger. But I think that one at least will maybe just adapt to be 1 to 2 passports. And then we'll figure out a new pattern for larger ones. I also, though, want to make a slimline, smaller one for solo traveling passports. I did make myself the belt bag before we left, and it went everywhere with me, so it gets the massive thumbs up that it survived Japan, an intense Japan. It didn't really hold my sunglasses unless I wasn't carrying all our passports. So I think solo traveling, it's going to be a lot better. Makes sense. But I was the passport carrier person, so that's what took up a lot of room in it. And honestly, considering that, it did a really good job. So, belt bag is traveling approved, and it wore really well. It was really comfortable. It was lightweight. I think the only thing that I have against it, and this isn't something that it's not something that would change about the pattern. It's just that the only thing that I noticed personally is that wearing it on the same shoulder all the time did become a little bit too much. Nothing I can do about that portion though. So, not really even a negative thing about it, just a realization after having worn it for nearly a month, every day for nearly a month. And that's the other portion of this, is that we were gone for nearly a month. Almost exactly, so. Why are you sounding so cranky? I don't get it. Oh yeah, and so part of the other thing that we're doing is we are doing a booth redesign, with the factors of I've had the same booth for over 10 years now. It's looking a little bit shabby, and I wanted to create more of an experience when you're shopping with me. Definitely inspired a lot by Odafest. Now, obviously, every maker is going to have different needs and different setups and blah, 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 blah. But they're like, that was definitely a kick in the ass last year of seeing the different con setups and stuff like that. So we're going to keep the grid wall. We need to paint it. So that's one of the big things. Actually, I should look back up my photos because Odafest might have been a black background as well. My grid wall is actually secondhand, and the person who had it before me must have spray painted either around it or on it, because there's this like green tinge over the whole thing. And we were discussing that about Dallas is like, yeah, we need to like really make sure that the booth is like locked in for art market. Then I'm like, yes, one of the big things we need to do is paint the grid wall, because then it'll look a little bit more like everything's just kind of floating, because art market uses black drapes for their pipe and drape. So I was just realizing that I think Odafest does as well, so maybe I'll try and get them to paint it before Odafest. Anyway, we've got an idea of kind of how it's going to come together for the booth. At least we're going to try. Going to kind of like try and to soft launch it for Peace Fibre Festival, which will be good. Yeah, and that's kind of where we're at with it. It's not going to be like huge changes, but it's going to like, again, I want it to make it more of an experience instead of just like walking into another booth. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. The other big thing was like stuff like making sure that we have lighting no matter if I have power or not, and how to like do that, and how to actually get lighting into the booth and to support it. So we've got plans, and we'll see if they work out. The other thing being that I need to figure out actually, Dallas is figuring this out. Basically, I bought a larger tent canopy, and we'll set the tent up without the actual canopy on it, because it was like the big hurdle that we were facing was at a lot of shows that I'm at, we don't have pipe and drape. So what's the infrastructure you could build to actually support a light and like some decorating and stuff like that? And we were chatting about like frames and metal, and like, because the other constraint is that it has to fit in the truck, and the big thing there not being necessarily height but length. And so we settled. I was like, okay, do you know what we actually do? Because I was like, okay, well, maybe we buy pipe and drape, like uprights and pipe, because it'll shrink and expand and all that. And then I was like, wait, what if we just did a like actual canopy? Because A, it's accessible, it folds down, so it's also easy to store, and they're not like, where I bought it from is not extremely expensive. So we're gonna try that, because the idea I'm thinking of is that we'll end up doing like the patio string lights across it, because one of the things I'm really noticing is like I've got really good lighting in the back, but they're a pain in the ass, so I want to get rid of them if I can, because yeah, they're a pain in the butt to hang. And then on top of that, they're like, they don't light the middle of the booth, so there's always kind of like, it's not really even a dead spot of light, but it grays the booth out. So we're gonna try stringing patio lights across and like having that add in some warmth and stuff like that. And the set that I have that will soft launch with Peace is actually battery pack powered, so that works really well. They're like USB. And then and then like swapping out the florals, and then the other part that we'll have to figure out once it's here is like how to actually do signage on it. So I think we're gonna have to like cap one of the edges and do the signage on there, and then we'll figure it out. We'll see. It'll come together, but it's been like, we've been talking about it for 2 years, and this is the year to actually do it, because I'm just like, oh my goodness. craziness, especially with OdaFest coming up. And that's why I'll soft launch it at Peace, and then we can fine tune it throughout the year and for Knit City and stuff like that. So right now we're looking at a number of shows this year. Actually, I wonder if I'm still waiting to hear back from Vibrations. Usually they answer by the end of, oh, yay. Yeah. All right, we will not be at Vibrations this year. We'll be out on the coast, but we won't be there. There we go. That actually takes a show out that we don't need to worry about then, but we will be at Omat City. Yay! Well, there's the answer. Now, obviously, there can be a wait list, so we might still be at Vibrations, but not officially accepted at this point. All right. Oh, God. Oh, my body did not like that. Okay. It's all like, gonna cramp up. just letting Dallas know. He's like, we're still going out, right? Because I've got a race. And I'm like, yes, Vibrations just chose the weekend that we're going to do it. And if it's not in, it just means less work. Actual vacation. Now, some of these cake cozies that we're threading elastic for right now are duplicates. That's part of why they didn't get done before we left. And for like that last sale that we had right before we left. But they're good to get done now, basically. Okay. I think we're going to finish out at 4 on my time, which is about 20 minutes. And then I'm going to go have a nap. That might be a bad idea, and it might be a brilliant idea. But as I mentioned, I also do not want to make this worse, so. If you're ever working with elastic, make sure to stretch it before you put it in the thing you're going to use it in. It helps prevent the droopiness when you like start using a thing. Prevent it completely? No. Make it better? Yes. And sometimes that's all you need to do. No. Oh, goddamn. Just faster to do it that way. Okay. So what I'm doing is I've got like, I actually use basically a latch hook to do these with. Because I find it more effective than a bodkin and etc. Anyway, shove the latch hook in, pull through until I can like clip it, and then pull through on the other end. Keep the latch hook on it until we've got it through as much as we need, and then all good. One side done. Okay. Supposed to do 10K tomorrow, and I'm like, Actually, I guess I could go walk 10K tomorrow. That would be time on feet, Time on feet. I don't think this is going to be a super spectacular performance for Calgary half anyway. So we'll see. Yeah. There you go. Maybe. Come on. Yeah, we did it. Nope. Yep. There we go. Yay. Well, at least with these ready and the zippers like ready to go, we'll be able to get sewing quite nicely tomorrow. I'm glad I shifted instead of giving up. I'm also, however, glad that I did shift instead of continuing on the purses, because I think it would have led to a lot of hard feelings. And yes, a bag can give you hard feelings when you're making it. For sure. Alright, who texted me? Oh, Dallas did. So we did, if you haven't seen it, I did do a full tour of the fabric. There's the live version up on YouTube, as well as the trimmed down if you just want to, if you just want to watch the like cottons, or if you just want to watch the obi and kimono, or if you just want to watch them separately, because honestly the tour is long. I think it's like almost 3 hours. Some of the highlights are, we got some really cute, well, we always get really cute cat fabric, so we're gonna highlight the other ones. Sheep, lots of really good sheep fabric, lots of really good bird fabric randomly. Not a lot of bunnies. I was realizing afterwards, because I have one of my wholesalers loves to have bunny fabric, and I'm like, now I'm looking at what I got, and I'm like, there's not a lot of bunnies. A lot of other cute ones though. What else did we get? We got some. What I did get of dog fabric was really good. We got some really good food fabric. I'm really excited about the citruses that we got. Yeah, and then I did get the update done for the bags that were finished before I went to Japan, and the fabric, buy fabric is up as well. It's not de-stash prices, because really we're looking to replace the fabric, but it is available in like multiple different scrap packs, and the 1/2 meter cuts basically up to 2 meters where applicable. So, yeah, would love for you to all have a little bit of fun there with it. And there's nothing wrong with the fabrics. They've all been pre-washed and dried. They're just like, it's remnants, a lot of it, like larger remnants, and stuff that just we're not going to work with anymore, sort of thing. Or I'm tired of looking at. Like, get off my shelf. There are a few more that I'm going to add here soon, but I just haven't. So. We should also spend some quality time with the snap press and get the snaps put into the needle stashers, because that is a bunch of stock just sitting there, just waiting. Eventually. It'll all happen eventually. Eventually should be in the next few weeks. Actually, it should be in the next couple weeks while we're actually have them ready for Shindig. That is the first time that the space heater is turned off. And we've been on for how long? Almost 2 hours. Jesus. There must have been a lot of leftover cold air or something like that. Oh yeah, I was talking about the books earlier. I was trying to keep you updated. We're doing Shield of Sparrows and Rights of the Starling. It is going to be a trilogy, but those are the first 2 books. Right of the Starling is coming out on next Tuesday. And then I went in and I listened to the most, I think this is probably the one. So this one was billed to me as unhinged. I have listened to other books where they have been billed as unhinged. You even had a freaking succubus. And like no actual physical contact happened. Yeah, some dream sex scenes happened, but it's just like it's not the same. Anyway, this one was billed as unhinged and actually delivered. Probably the most, it's for the porn, not the plot, book I have listened to in quite a few years, if ever. Anyway, and it's like no stakes, there's no drama, there's no like nothing. Read the trigger warnings, but if you're looking for something that's just like straight into it, this is the book for you. It's Heat Clinic. And it's by Alexis Osborne. I think there is an initial in there though, so let me look it up. I think it's Alexis B. Osborne. Yeah, Alexis B. Osborne. Man, the basement is so quiet when that space heater turns off. It's ridiculous. No. Okay, so the only drawback to these guys sometimes is that the surged edge thread gets caught on the latch hook at this exit end. There we go. That worked though. How many do we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we'll finish these up and then I will head out. 'Cause why not? This isn't like super taxing. Which means we need 20 clips, 4 per. Oh, good. And we do have like this massive box of, well, not massive box, but we do have that box of small box bags to finish. So I don't think we need to cut any small box bags because I think there's another like 25 in there to finish. So we'll finish those. And then I want to finish the Dundurn that are currently like in progress. And given that the Scotch Guard is working so far, I think we'll be able to actually Scotch Guard them before we sew them. And then 4, 5, Kato. But I can work on the Kato. Well, I'll cut all the Kato and get Dallas to interface them while we sew the Dundurn next week, probably. I think that's how it'll work. Basically, I'll try and get the Kato. Oh shit! I was like, I'll try and get the Kato like selected and cut next like Monday, but the kids are out of school Monday. Oh well, I can still do that. I just won't be able to take you guys along with me. Sorry. But the show must go on, even when there is no show. Hopefully I'll be like over this cold and we'll be able to like hang out at nighttime. If I have the energy. We'll see. We'll see if I've got the energy. Actually, I guess I should still book our ferry tickets for that trip. Because, yeah, we're still going out that week. But actually, no, I'm going to wait a little bit because who knows I don't know if they changed the fuel surcharges for ferries or not. So maybe we'll wait a bit and see if they'll but it's more likely that prices will go up. I don't know how they deal with that because like airlines have to like or do surcharge for them, right? So I wonder if the ferries do or not for BC. I'll have to take a look. Yeah, I also think I found a hotel in Kyoto that I'm like 95% sure I'll be able to like, or will be affordable during October, which is nice. On top of which I also still have enough air miles that I should be able to like book it without cash, which I did do in Tokyo, and that is super exciting. I like got myself a nicer room at Mitsui Garden Otemachi, which I did not know how lucky Caroline and I got when we went on our trip, because we paid like $150 per night for the two of us too, so like $75 each. Yeah, that hotel during this last trip was like $500 to $600 per room. So and up. It is very nice though. So I splurged on my, not cash, it's points again, air miles, because the programming for air miles has changed where it's like now you book through Expedia for stuff, and it's like actually it's easier to figure out what your conversion is, and everything can be paid for by air miles now, and whereas that was one of the hesitations about air miles recently for me, is that like you had to still pay the taxes and surcharges, and like honestly that is typically the majority of your like plane ticket costs and stuff, right? So So yeah, so that program's also changing. So we'll see how these rewards programs work out here soon. But the exchange rate on them was better than what it was when I was looking last. So I did book my flight because I was just like, I'm going anyway. I've got the points here. We may as well do it. Although about 3 days later, the flight price went down like 3,000 points. I'm like, really? Come on. Oh well. Better to have it booked and be done than not. Now I'm just trying to decide if I want to like also potentially like upgrade my seat, which I might do on the way there. They're not... Okay, I am 5'8". Most of my height is in my torso. I don't have like stupid long legs. And the seats weren't too bad. Shockingly, there was a shit ton. Like empty space in the overhead bins, both directions. So all my bags could go up, which high, when you are taller, is way nicer. But the one issue I was having was that even with the seat back upright, working on my laptop was actually really hard. So I'm really debating going in and doing what they call extended comfort. It would be what they would have called, what WestJet would have called plus seating previously. Which would give me like 3 to 6 inches extra legroom. If I booked bulkhead, it would like give me probably the 6 inches. I do, however, like having my like movie screen, or like having movies on in the background, or the like flight map in the background. So I don't know, and I don't know. Actually, the question more is if I want to pay cash for it or if I want to use my points for it. I think I'm going to save my points and pay cash for it. And then I've got like a seat voucher from TELUS because they partnered with WestJet last year, and I'll use my seat voucher to like book my seat on the return trip, and then just go in like a normal row, because that is the one thing that didn't get included with the ticket is you have to, any seat that I go in, I have to pay for up front if I want to select a seat. And given how bumpy it was flying home, I do not want to be in the back of the plane, so we're going to select the seats. So it was kind of hilarious. I felt bad for Dallas. So Dallas out with the kids both directions because, of course, they're like, Mom's chopped liver a little bit. I get it. I'm not going to complain. I didn't have to sit with the kids either direction. And they did really good on the flight. But it was funny because it was like heading out, they did announce that the flight attendants would have to remain seated for a bit longer and they'd have to wait for service to start and stuff like that because we're expecting turbulence. The expected turbulence wasn't actually that bad, but like I appreciate them doing that because I don't want to get crushed by a cart or anything like that. So yeah, anyway, kids are buckled in. They discovered that they actually really enjoy the Super Mario Bros. Movie. And so they watched it, like, I think the youngest watched it almost twice on the way over. Might have watched it twice and almost a third time. And then they were both watching it on the way back. And the youngest, like, when the bones, like, monster, whatever the hell it's called, came out of the ground, it was like, and Chase Luigi, they, like, screamed and kicked the seat in front of them. I felt bad about that part. And it, like, made the, I think it made the girl that was in the seat, like, jump. Made the, like, and of course this is when we're still, like, all waiting for this turbulence to happen and everything like that. It's just like, oh my god. It made the flight attendant laugh, though. She was, like, sitting facing us. We were, like, a row behind exit seating. And so she was in her jump seat watching. And, yeah, it made her laugh because obviously it must have made the girl in the seat in front of the youngest, like, jump and everything like that. I felt a bit bad, but it was also funny. Because they did really good otherwise, but yeah, it was just like that portion of it. All right, we're going to do the scrunchie, and then all this elasticking is done, and then I am going to head out for a nap and hope that this recovers a little bit faster with some more rest. So what did we get done today? We got all those cake cozies elasticed. We got the slip pockets with the Cambridge sewn, so that's good, and turned actually, so both of those things were done. Yay. And then we also got zippers cut. So yeah, we're doing good. I'll take it, because honestly we could have just sat and done nothing today too. But yeah, I think get the Cambridge sewn at least this week. Yeah, that doesn't feel tight enough, but we'll see here in a second. Yeah, get the Cambridge sewn this week, and then Kato fabrics selected, and then Dundurns next week. I think that's a good trajectory. And then try and get like 5 or 6 and the small box bags, and then try and get 5 or 6 Kato finished in time for Shindig. Caroline's also saying she needs a restock, so the rack doesn't look too bad, but I do agree with her. It's like, yeah, it's time for more bags there. Okay. There we go. That's better. Tie this off, and then yeah, everything will be ready to go for work tomorrow. Yeah, and I'll probably work on those shirt sleeves tonight. So like, I'm not going to be completely done, or I'll work on getting the wholesaler catalog set up. Actually, that's probably the better option, to be honest, because that is also an important part of the job. All right. Thank you so much for everyone who joined me again today. I always appreciate it. We are creeping our way towards 1,000 subscribers, still working towards that goal for this year, which really for me is making sure that I am posting content like these live streams more consistently. So watch for some like shorts and stuff like that. I always appreciate a subscribe or share with someone that you think might enjoy my content. And yeah, I'll chat with y'all tomorrow. Same bat place, hopefully earlier. Although we'll see, because I'm technically supposed to go for 10K. We'll see how I feel in the morning. Anyway, chat with y'all soon. Have a fantastic night, day, wherever, whenever you are. Bye.